Hello there, adventurers! It's me, Sorvesteon, bringing you another taming guide in Riders of Icarus. And in this taming guide, we're going to go after Rados. So, Rados is the only tameable elite reindeer in Parnas Coast. And in order to tame this noble stag, as the bestiary says, we're going to have to combine the power of a Parnas reindeer and some Chirpa snowflowers. What the bestiary does not tell us is how we can get the recipe. Well, the recipe drops off of this guy right here, a Karad runner. Now there are 3 of these guys up in the pirate hideout, and you can see where I am. See, there's the ghostly pirate ship right there, and there is kind of the base right there. Here, let me show you on the map. This is where I am. So, like I said, there are 3 of these guys. There's this one here. He spawns right here at this kind of fork, or this crossroads, and pats all the way up the path, over here, up to this gate. And there is another one that pats up this dock. He spawns over here and pats all the way up. Now you notice that there is no Karad runner here. Instead, there is a Karad deckhand. And that is kind of the catch with the Karad runners. They share their spawns with other mobs. And on top of that, they happen to be a rare spawn. So, yeah, it might be a little bit difficult getting them to spawn for you. And therefore, getting the recipe is not quite so easy. And there is another one over here. This guy spawns right up in front of this gate and pats over down and just goes out of this gate a little bit before he turns around and comes back up. He shares his spawn with this mob right here, a Karad Elite Outlook. Now, not this particular mob, but this same type of mob. So if you see a Karad Elite Lookout patting up and down this path, then that means that the Karad runner is not up. And you will have to kill said Elite Lookout in order to get the Karad runner to spawn. Maybe several times before the Karad runner will spawn. In this case, this Karad runner shares his spawn with a Karad Octopus trainer and his accompanying rock octopus. And as I've already mentioned, the Karad runner that pats along this dock shares his spawn with this Karad deckhand. So you will have to kill those 3 different mobs if there are no Karad runners up. Now, if there are Karad runners up, of course, you can go kill them, but there is no guarantee that they will actually drop the recipe. The recipe itself is an uncommon drop, like most fine items are, and the downside is that you're trying to get an uncommon drop off of a rare spawn. So yeah, obviously the recipe is difficult to get and relatively rare. Now, I mean, I was incredibly lucky. I got 2 recipes within the first 3 Karad runners that I killed. And that was like a crazy stroke of luck. Afterwards, I tried killing some more Karad runners while I was researching this taming Rados, and I did not get any more recipes. So I can tell you that, this is a relatively rare recipe. And if you go to the auction house and try and buy it off the auction house, well, you're going to see that the price reflects that. So here, let me get off my mount and let me show you. Come on, portable auction broker. I love having this thing. It is so convenient. Got it in the legendary Riders pack. Rados. Mark recipe. Search. Yeah, look at this. It's 12 gold. I mean, most of the elite familiar recipes in Parnas Coast, by this time anyways, are fairly inexpensive. But not the Rados Mark recipe. This is, for an elite Mark recipe, this is fairly expensive. And that just kind of goes to show you just kind of how difficult farming this particular recipe is. Or perhaps the fact that no one really farms it. But, the point is the auction house is a viable alternative to farming for the recipe. It all comes down to what you have more of. Money or time. Anyways, once you have the recipe, so barter crafting Rados mark, your shopping list is relatively simple. You just need 3 Parna's reindeer, 5 shining Chirpa snowflowers, and 30 familiar orbs. Now the shining Chirpa snowflowers are probably the thing that you're going to have the most difficulty getting. They drop off of the Chirpa snowflowers. And here, I'll just go and pick one. And did I get a shining Chirpa snowflower? No, I did not. Because it, like the recipe, is an uncommon drop. So, what are your chances of getting a shining Chirpa snowflower? Well, it kind of really comes down to your luck. Like the recipe, if luck is on your side, well, then you won't have any trouble at all. If luck is not on your side, well, then you could go and pick 60 of these Chirpa snowflowers and not get a single shining Chirpa snowflower. And that actually happened to me. I mean, I went through and I picked several of them. Actually, not several, a lot. I picked a lot of Chirpa snowflowers. I think, you know, when I first started out, I picked maybe 10, and then I got a shining Chirpa snowflower. And then, you know, that kind of continued. There was even this one time where I got, or I picked a Chirpa snowflower. I got 2 Chirpa snowflowers and 2 shining Chirpa snowflowers just from picking one node, one resource node. And that just like blew my mind. Anyways, so if we take a look at my inventory here, I picked 115 Chirpa snowflowers and got 5 shining Chirpa snowflowers. So that should tell you something. This is a relatively uncommon item, and you will have to spend some time going and picking Chirpa snowflowers in order to get the shining ones that you need to craft this mark. The good news is, though, that the Chirpa snowflower is the main crafting ingredient for potions, health potions. So your time will not be wasted. These will definitely come in really handy, and they will save you quite a bit of gold. Now, if you want to avoid what could potentially turn into a very lengthy Chirpa snowflower gathering session, you can always head to the auction house, and unlike the recipe, the shining Chirpa snowflowers are very cheap and come in bundles of 5 for your convenience. So the only thing I need now are 3 sealed Parna's reindeer. I already have 2 of them, I just need to grab 1 more. Now, I'm going to tame these myself, and I really recommend you do the same. Don't go to the auction house and try and buy them. At least right now on the Baylast server, these things are going for 3 gold each. I don't know who would buy them at 3 gold, but that's what they're going for, and it is a huge price gouge. Seal stones, the level 10 common ones that you need to seal these Parna's reindeer up, you can buy those for 20 silver each. The Parna's reindeer themselves, super common, very plentiful, very easy to tame. All you need to do is invest a little bit of your time, and you can get these for way cheaper than 3 gold each. Now, the Parna's reindeer themselves can be found in the lower half of the Sorma plain. Now, don't confuse a Parna's reindeer with a coastal reindeer. There are 2 types of reindeer in Parna's coast. The coastal reindeer, which you can find hanging around Garrison Fort, just along this road here, south of the pirate hideout, along the coast. And there's also a few coastal reindeer kind of hanging out around Parna steppes. The Parna's reindeer can be found exclusively in the lower part of the Sorma plain, just north of Farlak, just west of Warhol, and south of basically the word Sorma plain on the map. And as you can see, there's one there, there's another one there, there's another one there off in the distance. Like, they are super easy to find, and they are super easy to tame as well. They don't require any mark. All you need to do is go and jump on them, and they are super easy to tame. I mean, I wouldn't even really worry about trying to lower their health or anything. There is absolutely no consequence for failing. They don't require a mark. So if one bucks you off, well, then just jump right back on, and, you know, I'm sure RNG will be much kinder to you next time. Alright, let's jump off of this guy, and let's seal him up. Alright. So with him, I should now have all the Parna's reindeer that I need, and yeah, it looks like I do. So let's go find a barter crafting station and craft up this mark. Alright, so let's craft this up. So along with the 3 sealed Parna's reindeer and the 5 shining chirpa flowers, all you need is 30 familiar orbs. And I have gotten 1 Rados mark. I was hoping for more, but oh well. So let's go tame Rados. So finding Rados isn't really all that difficult if you know where to look. If you start at the transit shrine in the pirate hideout and then just fly up and start heading east, you'll start to see these pirate watchtowers. You just want to keep flying over top of them. And oh, look at that! There's another Karad runner over here. Well, I'll be. So it seems that in addition to the 3 Karad runners that I showed you over by the pirate ship, there is a 4th one that spawns over in this part of the pirate hideout. Anyways, let's continue on. So we're going to keep heading east, and we're going to fly over top of this rock wall into what I like to call the inner pirate hideout. Now I call it that because the pirate hideout itself seems to be divided into 2 parts by these rock walls and this gate over here. Rados is actually located down here on this ledge. So you see there are 4 coastal reindeer here, and in the middle is Rados. So if you are questing through here, you may have noticed that there was a gap in the kind of rock wall over there. But unless you actually flew up, you would never have seen that there is a bunch of reindeer up here, let alone that Rados himself was up here as well. Let me just head down here for a second, and let me get off my mount. So what I found is that Rados has one of the longest respawn timers I've ever seen for an elite mount in Riders of Icarus. His respawn time is something like 35 to 40 minutes. Now, I wasn't able to actually nail it down to one fixed time interval. The first time I killed him and I waited for him to respawn, it took 40 minutes. The second time, it took 35 minutes. So from that, I'm going to say that it takes around 35 to 40 minutes for Rados to respawn. So if he's not up here, you might as well just go and check in a different channel because you could be waiting for a long time otherwise. Alright, let's go and tame Rados. So Rados is hostile, unlike the other coastal reindeer. Now that's good because that means that the other coastal reindeer are not going to bother you as long as you don't hit them. That means no AoEs, unless you want to kill them all. And that is totally viable. They are actually very weak. But for the sake of this video, or this taming guide, I'm not going to do any AoEs. I'm just going to focus on Rados himself. Alright, so let's start whittling down his health. So he's level 29 elite, so if you are not way higher level than him, definitely you want to not kill him. Oh gosh, I hate that auto attack. Alright, let's go and jump on. Perfect, there we go. Come on, all greens. See, as long as I didn't hit those other coastal reindeer, they will not bother me, and that makes this whole taming process a lot simpler. Now, if you must, of course, use AoEs, well then, go ahead. Just make sure that you kill all the coastal reindeer before you try and jump on Rados. Otherwise, well, if you're a tank, it really won't make any difference, but if you're one of them squishy assassins or something like that, yeah, those coastal reindeers might kill you while you're trying to tame Rados, especially if you're not max level, so. Alrighty, let's take a quick look at Rados' stats and his skills before we finish up. Stat-wise, he's really nothing too impressive. Skill-wise, he is very similar to Rogaton and Logash from the Hakana's Highlands. He gets the same 2 skills they have, the Survival Instinct, and he gets a more powerful version of their Healing Horns. Their Healing Horns restores 2% of health every 3 seconds for 15 seconds. His, as you can see, restores 3.5% health every 3 seconds for 15 seconds. His skill, however, has a slightly longer cooldown at 1 minute and 15 seconds, whereas theirs only has a cooldown of 1 minute. His Survival Instinct is also more powerful than theirs. The reason for that is because Rados, being an elite in Parnas Coast, can go to level 35, whereas Rogaton and Logash can only reach level 30. Now, the Survival Instinct skills basically levels up every 5 levels. So the Survival Instinct skill that Rogaton and Logash have can go to level 6, whereas Raidos's can go to level 7. So he's going to give more magic defense than they will. And of course, being an elite in Parnas Coast, he gets the Bitter Cold Resistance skill. If we were to go and seal him up, he would provide intelligence and willpower, so a good seal stone for wizards and priests. And that is how you tame Rados in Parnas Coast. This has been Sorvesteon. Don't forget to click like and subscribe to my channel for more taming guides for Riders of Icarus. Until next time, fellow adventurers, take care and have fun.